Alright, here we're going to use the Loomis Method to start out, and I'm going to draw this guy. This is an artist that has a YouTube channel of his own that discusses topics in art. Right now I'm not recalling his name, but if anybody watching this knows it, put it in the comments. He's very intelligent, wise, and can give advice and explain certain topics in art, and I recommend him. Alright, so let's start out. I'm going to use a little bit of iron charcoal, just to try to keep it light. Now we see how he's looking a little bit off to the side and slightly down. First I'm going to start with the sphere of the head. So let's put that right around here. Okay, there's the rough circle. And let's see, he's looking down a little bit, and there's a slight angle to his face, so I'm looking at the line across the eyes. So that would be, something like this. And then the center line of his face, because he's looking a little bit to the side, is at a slight angle. So it's like that. So there we go. All right. So let's see. Let's just start a little bit with where his eyebrows are, off the center line. So he's got eyebrow right here. He's got eyebrow that's a little higher over here. Okay. And then his eyes. There's the circle for his eye. Over here. Just roughing stuff in here. I'll probably do my blur thing a little later. And this little, you can see the shadow from the nose in here. Alright. Alright, so you figure his hairline right around here. So it's his hair coming up like this. His hair. So let's go 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Bottom of his nose, we're going to guess it's somewhere around here. It's a little more on one side because he's angled. So you're going to see something like this. And this over here. There's the nose. So let's go 1/3, 1/3. 1/3. It's probably around where his chin is. He's got a beard there, so we'll be going over that. But then we can go a third down. We do that's the top of the mouth, which is in shadow here. He's got a mustache there. And then we got the bottom of his lip here. So that's where we start there. We're going to cut off, the 2/3 part of the circle. And so it's this ear, figure, come across from the eyes, usually around where the top of the ear would be. If we had an ear, we can do that X for that part. His ear would be back here somewhere, but he's got hair over it. All right. So there's start with the Loomis. Now we can go in and just kind of start refining. Draw. His nose, he's got some shadow here, but here he's got some glasses, and sit lower, across here, he's got some glasses here, go. Kind of rough this side, got a little shadow in there with the hair. Hair comes up like this. Back here. got to put in, there's a shadow under his nose, let's put in where his mustache is, like this, got a line here. You can see the shapes here, it's like a trapezoid, triangle underneath the lens, so he's got his triangle, trapezoid, and here. Shadow in there. Okay. So yeah, he's got more shadow on his nose here. Alright, so mustache, there's his face. Figure the inside of the eye, the edge of the mouth. So the edge of the mouth is probably over here. Same here, go down. So that's a shadow. Put some shadow there. Alright, bottom of his mouth is here, and then he's got his beard starts here. So let's connect the beard and the mustache here. Alright, so he's got this. Let's look at this shape. It's like a big triangle going under his eye. Then we got this shape here. He's got his there. Okay. So then his beard's like out to here. And don't worry, I'm smearing stuff, my hand's hitting it, it doesn't matter, because we're just kind of roughing it out. Okay, and just kind of, he's got his beard, his pretty long beard down here, comes up at an angle. There we go. So there's a rough idea of his head. And usually, like I've done before, I'll just kind of almost erase it with a rag, just to have it, the image there to work from, and then I can refine it a little more. There you go. So I've got a kind of an outline there. Now I can come in with other charcoal and go back in, do a little more detail. The glasses were actually a little bit longer than this, so let me a little bit bigger with the lenses here. He's got the band across the glasses. It sits a little lower. Okay, he's got his eye in here. End of his eye here. And it's just like I showed before. You don't worry about a lot too much in the detail. You refine as you go. It's like layers. You know, he's got some shade here. Let's just kind of be loose. Throw some shade where we sit, some shade here. I see a lot of shade coming down here by his nose. There's shade up by the eye. And he's got his eyebrow here. Okay. All right, we got the bottom of his nose, some shade here. Alright, it's got some more shade under the nose, it's got the shade where the mouth is. Alright, and yep, it's got some shade here, it's got darker side of his face here. Throw some shade in there. Wherever we see dark areas around the eyes and the nose, we'll just kind of draw a rough idea of that shade, which we'll just smooth with our finger in a minute. Just got a shade on this side of the face. Light's coming more from the right. So, you know, even in the beard, he's got some shade in there, especially the side of the hair. There's shade. Got that line here. Just do some shade. It's got dark around the face here. It's got like this is kind of outlined. This is, comes down like this. Mustache. It's like this, like this. Loose. There we go. A little bit of shade in the beard here. Let's make the mouth a little more shade here. A little bit of shade here. A little bit under the eye here. All right, so there we got kind of a portrait of him already. Let's see, let's add in a little bit of his, he's got some shoulder here. Looks like it's probably over here. And we'll just kind of block in some shirts down here, we'll block that in. And then we can just come in and do more refining. And again, I can blur. Shade on his face here. Comes in here. He's got some shade here. And then his beard, it's got shade there. Wipe the edges down, kind of loosen the edges. All right. Yeah, we can come in now. We can get even more detail if we want. That's you know, a little more for the eye. Kind of matches the edge of the glass here. Okay. So here's the glasses. And eventually we're going to do all this, but with paint. Right now we're just doing the drawing aspects of it all. Again, you know, I'm putting a little more detail, but I'm still not really worrying about it. You know, like I don't have to be exact. Just kind of rough stuff in. He's got his eye just under the edge of the glass, over it. His eyelid. Got a lid here, and it gets darker. And he's got his eyebrow right here somewhere. Okay, so he's got that there, and here's the side of his head. Okay, so let's see. And let's do a little more over here. shaded there. Beard, into the hair. I'm just getting a little darker in some spots. Not being exact. Then he's got his beard here. He's got a little darker here. Keep everything kind of loose. All right, so we're getting there. All right. All right. Okay. So, yep. And you can see how we're getting closer to his likeness. And this is where you would go continue refining. But I mean, this is the main point of the video right here. But you know, there's more you can do. You can take a eraser and draw out where you have little areas you have a little more light that you kind of went over. Let's see, a little bit there, a little bit on the eyelid right here. Bit in the corner here, the eye, bottom edge of the eye here, the highlight on the nose, right in here, you can erase some of this. Highlighted here in the cheek. A little lighter right here. And then you've got the beard. Highlight some spots there. And highlight spots in the hair right here. Loose there. You kind of get the idea there. And there we go. You know, and I can come in with something smaller. I can go back to refining some more. definitely things that could be to make more accurate. His nose a little too narrow. You get the idea here. And you get towards the end and you just accent some things, some dark spots, darkness of the eyes. Just a little line under there. Let's get these glasses back in again. I'm going to stop this video there.